Almost 6,700 Vermont workers were affected by what is being called one of the largest ever security breaches of the federal government. The U.S. Office of Personnel Management was hacked last week, potentially compromising 4 million federal employees. Now the FBI is investigating to find out who is behind that cyber attack. The White House is blaming the Chinese, and also why it's being done. In the meantime, what should you do if you work for the federal government or are the victim of a data breach? John Burton is a cybersecurity expert with NPI and joins us now. John, thank you very much for joining us. Yes. So what was actually stolen in this breach?
Well, they call it PII, personally identifiable information, and they're still trying to sort out all the details, but certainly the key things, which would be their social security number, their date of birth, their addresses, maybe a lot about their family. Particularly, they're worried that they know the security clearance that they had as well, which could be used in various ways against the government.
So, obviously, security clearances, then you're getting into kind of the espionage side of things.
Absolutely.
Why would the other type of information that you were mentioning be valuable to a cyber thief?
Well, the interesting thing is that actually your personal information, like social security number, date of birth, and things like that, is more important to a cyber thief than would be a credit card, for example.
Okay.
Because they can use it in multiple ways. They could take out credit in your name, and you wouldn't know it, and then abuse that. They could file false Medicare claims, Medicaid claims on your behalf with that information. They can do a phishing attack, send you some email that is full of lots of information, sounds very convincing, so you click on something and suddenly you're compromised even further. So as it turns out, our personal identifiable information like social security number and date of birth are actually really key pieces that people can use against us.
And that information is out there all over the place, unfortunately, correct?
That's correct. It's out there. In this case, it was the personnel department for the government, but it's also out there in places like at insurance companies. And there have been, 90-some million insurance company people that have insurance have been breached.
So you mentioned a credit card. If you have someone who's stealing your credit card, you can just call the credit card company and say, cancel my credit card.
That's correct.
If someone steals your social security number, what are your options?
They do not issue new social security numbers.
Yeah.
So your options are to call the credit companies and put a freeze on your credit that would make it such that no one without your extra permission would be able to take out new credit cards or apply for credit without your knowledge. That's the first thing that I would do. I definitely go into all of your banking and any other online financial relationship you have and log in and make sure they haven't already taken your password and your whole account in their control, and strengthen that. That's the biggest thing. A lot of people use very short passwords and they don't ever change them, and they're not very complex. So in general, what you want to do is continually tighten your security throughout around everything you do financially.
Seems like every week we hear a new story about a branch of the government or a major corporation, somebody that is a victim of one of these cyber attacks, one of these hacks. Are we just really bad at cybersecurity in this country? Are other people really good? I mean, what is going on here? Well,
we're very developed, and we've been at a variety of financial online products for many, many years. We're pretty wealthy. So, thieves go where the money is, and there's a lot of money in it. Upwards to $30 to $40 per identity stolen you can get on the open market, in the black market for this kind of stuff. So
people would people steal your identity, and then, as opposed to doing something themselves, they'll sell it to somebody else?
Yeah. There's a very robust middle market. So you sell it to somebody, and they kind of slice and dice it and sell it to others, and eventually somebody purchases it to then try to do a tax against you.
So, apart from, like I said, longer passwords, such as, constantly kind of refreshing them, what other steps can you take to kind of give yourself as much of a wall as you can?
Right. Well, there are several services that you can get involved with. LifeLock and Identity Guard are places you can pay money, and they even do more to watch for any micro change in your situation, watching your bank statements, watching your credit card statements. I would be hyper vigilant about any kind of spear phishing attack where you get an email that looks like it came from one of your children, but it really wasn't, and double check on that, because they know so much background on you, they can construct a very convincing, what's called spear phishing email that goes to you.
So if you start seeing emails that have that kind of information, you're not sure how they came, that could be a warning flag that your credit or that your information could be at risk.
That's absolutely correct.
All right. It seems to get more concerning daily. I mean,
it's a problem.
Yeah.
It's a real problem in our society, and it's not stopping.
All right. John Burton, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, John recommends several links to good consumer information, and you will be able to find them with this story or on the info center at WCAX.com. Gina.